WL Sports, where we review all the best sports clips from around the world. You're probably wondering, why should I watch over here instead of over there? Because over there, they don't care about what you have to say. They say this all the time. They talk down to us. They think we're just a bunch of clowns on YouTube, Twitter. But I think it's the opposite. I think we know exactly what we're talking about. So I read every single comment. So if you think what I'm saying is the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard, let me know in the comments below. If you think what I'm saying is the most amazing thing, then definitely please let me know. Either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and it's turning into something truly, truly special. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to, something we're really excited to be part of, and I think we're well on our way to doing it. So without further ado, let's get to it. We're watching a clip of First Take with Stephen A. And Shannon Sharpe, and I think Ryan Clark is there, and they're talking about who would you rather have, Patrick Mahomes or Tom Brady for one game. I think that's the whole thing. It's only for this one game. I have some really strong opinions about this one, and I think it's definitely different whether or not you're picking between one game and a full year, like a career, versus, if you had to pick right now between these two players, who would you pick? And I think if it was for one game, the answer would be different. So I want to hear what they have to say
Tell
first.
me this. Would you rather have Brady or Mahomes for a one-game win or go-home situation?
I'm taking my homeboy because he can do everything Brady can do and more because of his legs, his ability. We've seen it time and time again. We saw him do great runs against the Texans when they were down 24-0. We saw him against the Tennessee Titans go down. We saw him last year in the Super Bowl take off on a bum ankle against the Philadelphia Eagles and pick up a key first down. And we saw him yesterday time and time again get himself out of harm's way. The way he can change arm angles, the way he can throw the ball, roll left, roll right, throw the ball with accuracy, and throw the ball over the top of your head. We're talking about the first 7 seasons. The guy has 70 touchdowns in front of Brady and almost 7,000 yards from where Brady was at the same point in their careers. Give me Pat, my homeboy.
So,
Yeah,
okay, I agreed with everything except for that last part, because Patrick Mahomes is so much ahead because the nature of the football has changed. When it was such a more defense oriented, less pass happy offense oriented league, and Patrick Mahomes has entered into the peak of offense, and is playing for Andy Reid, and Andy Reid has been pass happy since the beginning of time. Back when he did it with the Eagles, back in the 2000s, back when he would get a lot of criticism for not running the ball enough. So that that was always Andy Reid. Andy Reid was ahead of the curve with that. Was always big on throwing, even if they're short little throws. So the whole touchdowns and the yards, I think, is like that has to be taken with a grain of salt. Not to say that obviously Patrick Mahomes isn't amazing. I think Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT. I think he's better than Tom Brady on a skill set basis because of like what Shannon Sharpe said. Patrick Mahomes can do more. He's more versatile, and if you need him for just one game, do or die, win or go home, both in their prime, I would pick Patrick Mahomes. But with that said, if we're talking about from a longevity standpoint, and the truth is we still even need to see Patrick Mahomes even mature even more, because I think mentally Patrick Mahomes, so physically, Patrick Mahomes has reached or even surpassed Tom Brady's peak in terms of what they can do both physically, but not mentally yet. It took Tom Brady, and Tom Brady has talked about this before, it took him 10 years, 15 years, I don't know the exact number, I forget, for him to like finally be like, the defense can't show me a single thing that I haven't seen before. And so he just knew everything, and it took him a really long time. So he was just like ultra comfortable and just knew everything. Patrick Mahomes is not there yet, and I think Patrick Mahomes would even, admit that as well. He's still learning, which is great, which is awesome, because that just shows you that he can even improve even more. And so I think that, maybe if we were comparing Patrick Mahomes 3 years from now, 4 years from now, then it would maybe be even a little bit easier. But I think that's the one edge that Tom Brady definitely has on Patrick Mahomes. But physically and skill set, Patrick Mahomes definitely takes it for me. But now to kind of twist the question a little bit is, what would you do if you needed someone for the whole career? And I would say you would have to lean towards Tom Brady, because we have the gift of knowing his longevity, right? We know Tom Brady was so unique with his longevity. And the thing is we're just not so sure that that's what's going to happen to Patrick Mahomes. We have no idea if Patrick Mahomes will age as gracefully as Tom Brady. We don't know if Tom Brady was just kind of one of the first people to do it, and we're going to see more and more, because it's also kind of weird because we both have experienced Tom Brady and LeBron James for the most part during the same time, and we're just like thinking, well, maybe this is the way how athletes are going to age now with modern medicine and health and nutrition, taking care of your body. And there's some of that for sure, but it's also largely genetics and luck. Okay, but you could follow Tom Brady's TB12 method or do everything LeBron James does, and it doesn't mean that you're going to be able to play as long as either of those players. Also, you don't know if you're going to get lucky enough where you're not going to tear your ACL, rip apart your Achilles tendon. You just have no idea. So Patrick Mahomes is always just a slip away from that happening. And now it's like, okay, well, he might lose a couple years, or hey, he's going to lose a step now. You just don't know. And Tom Brady was very lucky to never really suffer any true, intense, severe injuries. Like Peyton Manning, his neck and stuff, can't even like turn his head, just some, really nasty stuff. Andrew Luck, just his body just got so beat up, right? And it wasn't just because he just was some overweight slob who didn't take care of himself. He just was very unfortunate just to get mauled, have a bad offensive line, and just really took a punishing for it. And with Patrick Mahomes, we don't know what Patrick Mahomes looks like when he loses a step, because part of, and this is what even Shannon Sharpe is saying, part of what makes Patrick Mahomes so special is his ability to evade and his legs, stuff like that. And granted, he's not this traditional running quarterback, right? Where we like a Lamar Jackson or, some of those quarterbacks where like the thing that truly makes them special is their ability to escape and evade and run. That's not necessarily Patrick Mahomes' situation, but his ability to move the pocket and definitely evade, and to be able to do that once or twice a game that then turns into a big moment. That is a huge part of Patrick Mahomes' game and is a huge part of what makes Patrick Mahomes special. And so we haven't really seen someone at this level, this elite, lose that ability yet, because any of the quarterbacks that came before him who maybe had somewhat of his ability, of that type of ability, they either were even more mobile than him, and so when they lost that mobility, it was like, okay, well, now you're really taking a step back, or they just also didn't have the same pocket presence as, say, Patrick Mahomes. And so I think that's where we just don't know how, even if Patrick Mahomes is fortunate enough to stay healthy, just what happens when he does lose a step, when he does slow down. Will he be as special if he's forced to stay more in the pocket and be more statuesque, or he has to really make sure that he avoids getting big hits just because, again, he's getting older, for that matter. And again, this is not tomorrow, this is years from now. We just don't know what his game looks like. We just don't. And I guess that theoretically is one of the benefits of, say, these more statuesque pocket passers, because what makes them special, their arm typically is one of the last things to go in your career, right? It's actually more your leg. Your legs go first, and a lot of people don't realize this. A lot of power comes from your lower body, and so that's actually what goes first. Go get Brett Favre, and Brett Favre can probably still absolutely sling it. But again, so much of it comes from your lower body, and if you don't believe me, do this at home. We used to do this in baseball, especially because people always think it's all upper body for hitting and throwing. Even sit in a chair, okay? Go sit in a chair and try to throw real far, or real hard even. You're not going to throw anywhere near as hard or as far without being able to stand up and actually use the power and the explosiveness of your lower body. So a lot, if not majority, is coming from your lower body, from your legs. That's where the power comes from. That's why you see a lot of, especially like big baseball hitters, their thighs, home run hitters, their thighs are gigantic. It's the power, the explosiveness from the lower body. And that's the first thing to go in sport, in athletics. It's your knees, your legs. They're the ones that get achy, not as much as your upper body and shoulder. Again, we see this as just elderly people who are not super athletic, they struggle a lot more with walking, than being able to use their hands and to be able to do things. But yeah, no. So I think that's the way how I kind of view it personally. But what do you all think? Who would you rather have in one game? I feel like a lot of people who are going to watch this video are probably going to say Patrick Mahomes, which I can't blame me for that one, but I would love to hear your thoughts. And please let me know versus a single game versus the career-wise. I would love to hear your arguments. Please let me know them. Please don't forget to subscribe. As I said, we are building an amazing community here, and I would absolutely love to see you a part of it. And please don't forget to subscribe. Or I already said that. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really helps with the visibility and the algorithm, and I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much, and see you next time.